Ever feel like the universe is sending you signs, but you're not sure how to make sense of them? Stick around because today I'm going to reveal the secret to interpreting these signs so that you can finally get the clarity that you've been looking for. Hello, everybody. I am Vaishali Khare. I'm an engineer turned psychic, and I show you how you can leverage the power of stars for your love life. I'm going to share an example of a client by the name of Sarah. Of course, Sarah is not her real name, it's a fake name. The client is real, the name is fake. You know the drill if you've watched any of my previous videos before. So, this is Sarah, and Sarah had, let's make her ponytail so that you know that she's female. And Sarah was interested in this person, and let's call him John. And for the sake of this example, I'm going to give John a last name. So let's call him John Doe, but John Doe is too easy, so I'm going to make it a little bit more spicier. So let's call him John Doe Maker. So his name is John Doe Maker. All right. So this is Sarah and this is John Doe Maker. And Sarah was interested in John and she wasn't really sure as to where things were going. So she asked the universe to show a sign. Now, you can ask the universe to show a sign, and in this particular case, she asked the universe to show a sign in such a way that she wanted to see his name. She said that I don't want like any of this sign, that sign, that sign. I have seen a lot of those. I want a sign which reflects his full name so that I know that the universe is talking to me and I know if things are going to move forward or things are going to fall apart. Now, what are the chances that the universe is going to show Sarah the sign which includes his name, John Domaker? Well, the universe did so in such an amazing manner that Sarah was completely floored. Stick around because I'm going to show you exactly how the universe played this game and showed Sarah what the sign was. It was even beyond her imagination that the universe would be able to do that. So, if you are like Sarah and you have a question about someone and you're unsure about whether things are going to move forward, they're going to fall apart, or where you stand, then you can also ask for signs from the universe, especially when you have doubts about a person or you have doubts about a situation, so that essentially you don't want to get stuck and waste time. So let's say you're here and let's say this is like 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, 5 weeks, 6 weeks, and so on. So let's say that you start over here and if the universe were to show you a sign that things are going to, say, fall apart over here, this is where you see the sign. This is not where things are fall apart. So if the universe were to show you a sign over here that things are going to fall apart, then obviously you're not going to invest as much time and energy in it. Well, you may, but you still have this nagging doubt in the back of your head that something is going to go wrong. So you may start kind of making it less of a priority because of the sign. And then let's say that things fall apart over here. So you didn't really waste all these weeks. You didn't invest a lot of your time and energy in this relationship, knowing over here that things are going to fall apart. Now, on the contrary, if you didn't have a sign, so let's say that you had no sign over here, so the sign was not visible, and or you didn't ask for it or you didn't get it, then you just move forward every week. You expect that things are going to move in the forward direction, and suddenly, boom, there's an accident over here. So you just ended up wasting up all this time. So that is one of the main goals with the signs, that when you're unsure or when you have doubts, you can ask for a sign early on. This is the timeline. So you can ask for a sign early on so that even if things don't work out, you are opening yourself to other channels. So, for instance, if this is where this is not Sarah, but this is where you got the sign, then at this point, essentially, you start kind of making this less of a priority and start looking at something else so that you're not investing time in something that is not going to yield any result. All right, so as far as this video is concerned, this is what you're going to learn: how you're going to interpret signs from the universe, why an interpreter is needed to translate signs from the universe, who is the interpreter when the universe gives you a sign, and connecting signs you receive to answers for your love life. So now let's get to the first part is how to interpret signs from the universe. So let's say that this is the universe, this whole thing is the universe, and this is you. You are like a tiny little speck as far as the universe is concerned. It is so huge that you are a very tiny speck. And now the universe has like this vast array of things through which it can show you a sign. And the tiny little you has to be able to interpret this sign. Now, this is the universe giving you the sign, and then you are receiving the sign over here. So, this is receiving the sign. So, the universe is giving you the sign, and then you are receiving the sign. But the universe has like so much stuff from which it can show you the signs. You don't even know where it is going to show you the sign from. So here in between, you need something which is going to translate or interpret the sign the universe has given, because obviously, let's say that you speak English. So this is English, and let's say that you speak English, and the universe obviously is going to give you the sign in a manner which is going to be unique. Even if you ask for a sign today and then you ask again for a sign within a few days for the same thing, the universe is going to give you the sign in a unique manner because the environment changes. So this is the translator. So you need a translator in between. So when the universe gives you a sign, this translator is going to translate this sign into something you can understand in the English language if you speak only English. And then that's when you're going to say or believe or receive the sign. Now, signs can be shown in different ways to different people because everyone has different environments, and the universe has to adapt to every person's environment. So, let's say you have a lot of people over here, and all of these people are asking for signs, but these people have different environments. And I've covered this in another video. I'm going to link that video over here. But essentially, the universe is going to give you a sign which is going to be unique to you. And also, the same sign can mean different things to different people. In certain cases, it may mean the same thing, but it can also mean different things to different people. The universe can show the signs in different ways. So, if you look at the overall structure, or if you look at this overall picture, you need an intelligent translator over here. If the translator is smart, it's going to take this sign. So let's say the translator hears the sign from the universe. Let's say we are looking at speaking and listening. So the translator listens to the sign from the universe, and then it's going to speak to you so that you actually get the sign. So that is the translator. Now, if the translator is super intelligent, it's going to do that really, really quickly. If the translator is struggling, which means that its fluency is not so good, if the translator, let's say, has English as a second or third language, or if the translator is not so fluent in English, then there's going to be a little bit of a problem in understanding the sign, what the universe has, and then in also conveying this information to you. So, why is it that you need a translator? That's the point I was trying to explain. Now, the translator has an ability to listen and an ability to speak. It has to be fluent. It has to understand this language from the universe, and it has to translate it to your language. So, for instance, if this person speaks French, and this translator has to also be able to speak French and kind of convey the message in French. Now, the translator has to translate the sign verbatim without having any bias. So, if the universe gives you a sign which means a no, the translator has to translate the exact thing and show you that the universe is showing the sign which means a no. Now, you also have to be able to receive the answer and kind of understand that the universe is saying a no, because if you say that, oh, that's not really my sign because I don't think the answer is a no, then it's not really going to work. You have to be able to, you have to be a little bit neutral or open minded or not have a bias to be able to at least receive the information. What you do with it later on is up to you. But as far as receiving the information is concerned, you have to be neutral to it and you have to receive the answer. All right, so now we get to the next part of the video, which is who is this translator? You can call it a translator, you can call it an interpreter, but this is something, a person or a thing or whatever you want to call it, is something which is sitting in between the universe and you. And it has the ability to decode these signs from the universe and kind of pass on the information over to you. Now, as far as you are concerned, you are a tiny little speck over here, and this universe is this huge, vast thing. And you have certain abilities. You have, let's say, your five senses. Most of the times, people have five senses, and all your five senses are able to perform and function the way they are supposed to, but those are just the senses of the body. You are, as a human being, so this is let's say this is a human being. As a human being, we are a spirit in a body. So this is a body, and then we also have a spirit. So it's essentially the human being is a spirit in a body. So since the human being is a spirit in a body, similar to the senses of the body, there's also senses of the spirit. And intuition is actually the sense of the spirit, and it essentially has the ability to translate these signs from the universe into something coherent, into a language that you can understand. Sometimes the intuition may be coming in the form of a gut feeling, like let's say you get this feeling in your stomach, and sometimes it could be like a really sick feeling that something bad is going to happen. So that is your intuition telling you that okay, you have to be prepared, something nasty is along the way. Or you get butterflies in your stomach, which is telling you that oh my god, something exciting is coming. So that could be one way intuition is kind of expressing or showing itself up. Another way intuition can show is just by knowing some answer. And that is the sense of claircognizance, where you just know the answer. You don't know why, you don't know how, you don't have any of the pieces of all these logical pieces which compromise the answer. You don't have any of those. You just know that this is the answer. So, that is also another intuitive way that you can get the information. So, if you'd like to leverage the power of the stars and if you'd like to work with your intuition in order to move forward or move fast forward your love life, then I'm going to put a link over here. You can sign up to work with me, and I'll show you how you can leverage the power of the stars and how you can leverage the power of the spirit, or how you can leverage your intuition to move forward in your love life. So now let's come to the example of Sarah. So as far as Sarah was concerned, Sarah was looking for answers, and the answer, I'm going to put Sarah back in the picture over here, and I'm going to make her pink. So this is Sarah. So this is Sarah, and these are her ponytails. So this is Sarah, and she's looking for answer for her love life, and the person she was interested in is John Doemaker. We just made up the name at the beginning of the video. His name is John Doemaker. Now, the interesting thing is Sarah asked the universe, so you can ask the universe. So Sarah asked the universe to show his full name because she was almost certain that the universe is not going to be able to do it. And you can't be almost certain. You have to. So Sarah was almost certain that the universe was not going to be able to show this person's name. And Sarah and John, so let's say this is John, and Sarah and John, they met in a class while they were studying photography. So Sarah was also studying, John was also studying, and they were kind of commenting on each other's photographs and giving each other tips and so on. So essentially, you can think of them as two students who are exchanging notes as far as education is concerned. So Sarah kind of asked the universe for a sign, and then she forgot completely about the fact that she had asked for a sign. And then she was watching TV. And when she was watching TV, she saw an interesting news segment, and the news segment was showing here something called, it showed a name, John the photographer, and below it, it showed John's photography. So essentially, that's how Sarah and John had met. But instead of showing his last name, which is Doughmaker, the universe connected the last name to something that was familiar to both of them. It was the link through which they connected to each other. So that link was, instead of the last name, the universe put in like John the photographer, John's photography kind of a thing. And as soon as she saw that, her intuition kicked in. So once she sees it, there has to be a translator. Otherwise, she is just going to go on with her life thinking that, oh, I didn't see the sign. The universe hasn't showed me a sign kind of a thing. But as soon as she saw this TV segment, her intuition kicked in. And her intuition essentially translated. The job of intuition is to translate or to decode or to inform or convert this information that the universe is giving you into something which you can comprehend in a normal day to day conversation. So, what the universe did is, as soon as she saw this, the intuition picked up and it translated this, and essentially it kind of whispered in Sarah's ears that, okay, this is essentially John Doemaker that the universe is trying to show you. So that's how the universe in this particular case showed Sarah the sign. So what if she had missed this sign? Well, if she had missed this sign, then the universe would have probably showed her the sign in a different manner. But this is how she saw the first sign, and she was pretty smart. So when she came and mentioned to me, I was impressed that she was actually able to interpret the sign and kind of connect the dots that, okay, the universe is now referring to this particular person. So if she had not seen the sign, the universe would have shown her a different sign. Now, if this person was not the one, then the universe would have shown her the sign in a different way that, okay, things are not going to work out between you and John, and at some point, things are going to fall apart. So, how do you really know? One practical tip is to actually keep a journal so that you can actually note down what happened and you can track the patterns over time. Because, as I mentioned earlier in the video, every person is going to see the signs in a different manner. So, that's just how Sarah saw it. But maybe if there's Amy, let's say over here, which is another lady, and she asked for a sign, then the universe is going to show her the sign in a different way. So now that you know the secret to how to interpret the signs from the universe, which is essentially using this translator, which is your own intuition, that is your ability or the ability of the spirit to be able to decode the information from the universe and to translate it into something which you can understand, there is one game changing factor that makes it all or a whole lot easier. This one key, it can help you unlock clarity instantaneously or instantly, and you won't be second guessing like, is this John the photographer, is this John Doemaker or it's not? So you won't have doubts like that if it's John or it's not. And this is the one key factor that can help you unlock the clarity instantly. Now, in my next video, I'm going to show you exactly what this particular key factor is. So that's as far as the intuition is concerned, what exactly this key factor is and how you can use it to interpret signs from the universe. Because remember that if the translator does not do a good job, or if it's not doing its job properly, then essentially you're not going to be able to get the signs from the universe, or you at least won't get the correct sign. And maybe you thought the answer is a no and the answer turns out to be yes, or maybe you thought the answer is a yes and the answer turns out to be a no, and you don't want that to happen. You want the translator to be accurate. You want it to do its job so that it's only decoding, it's not adding any sort of spices from itself and kind of flavoring the information in its own manner, maybe to make you happy, kind of a thing. You want the translator to actually do its job. So I'm going to show you what that key factor is in the next video so that interpreting signs about your love life becomes a breeze. And if you have any questions or comments, then feel free to post them. And based on that, I'm happy to make some extra videos. And I'll see you in the next video.